The following Toku Podcastu contains spoilers from both past and present Tokusatsu, anime, manga, movies and other related media. If you do not wish to be spoiled, we suggest turning off the podcast now. Otherwise, please enjoy the show.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Tokusatsu Podcastu. That's Jay.
Remember that time Santa Claus invaded Apocalypse?
Which time?
Once every year.
Yeah? Fuck
Yeah.
Darkseid.
Seems in character.
Fuck Darkseid.
That's Chad.
Hello, I am back. I don't know, were there any other recordings that you guys did before this one that I wasn't here for?
No.
Oh,
Like
No.
one,
oh, okay, so
maybe.
I don't know what happened.
You
but
never left.
I'm back from the other realm, from the nether.
And just like these questions, Phil already gave his intro. So let's move
When?
on.
When did I give my intro? You're just gaslighting me.
Well, you
Phil,
just did it.
gaslighting doesn't exist. What the fuck are you talking about?
I know. Are you crazy? Phil, you're a little
Okay,
crazy.
I am
honestly.
crazy.
You think gaslighting
I
exists?
am crazy, but I'm not that crazy.
Wait, Phil, hold on a minute. Did you hear about that joke about gaslighting?
No.
Dude, I thought I told you about it.
Damn it, Chad.
All right, so, because Dino Fury is gay and stupid, and I hate it, and I haven't even finished it yet. and Jay has.
We got a
we're gonna-
female Red Ranger. Yay!
That's Cosmic Fury.
Still.
Cause mid-fury, more like it. That is a totally original joke that nobody's made yet.
That's an insult to the word mid.
Mm.
So we're gonna come in here, and basically this is like second to last episode for the year, pretty much.
More or less.
We're level pegging this year, I guess. But we decided just fuck it, do a mailbag for the end of the year, because you guys have sent us over 75 questions just through email alone. So I picked up some of them, and we're gonna go through them like usual. So let's start with the most topical one. What's your reaction to the new Godzilla x Kong trailer from Ethan?
I actually haven't watched the trailer yet. I keep dragging my feet.
I saw it.
That's my reaction, just monkey noises.
Big monkey fella.
Look, it looks fun, I guess. Like, it looks like a stupid Godzilla fun movie, you know? Like, everyone's making fun of Godzilla and King Kong running for some reason. I don't know why, but it looks fun. It looks like a fun, cute little romp with Godzilla and King Kong beating up a gianter monkey. That's all I'm expecting out of it, really.
A lot of people are actually making Barbenheimer references because he's pink now, and I'm like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Twitter Zoomers, man.
I will
Twitter
say
Zoom.
Don't try to understand Twitter jokes.
it looks fun. I will say this: it does look fun, though. I still have to watch Godzilla versus
Yeah.
Kong. I gotta look at that.
Really? You've never seen that?
I've seen.
No, to be
bits of
completely
it.
honest, I didn't either, actually.
Weird.
Huh.
We should do a watch through of it.
Yeah, maybe.
We already did.
We did.
We reviewed it way back when, yeah.
Yeah. Because Jay got it totally legally, and so did I.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
I'm talking about like how we did with the other Godzilla movies.
Actually, I totally did get it legally because it was on HBO Max day one.
It's true.
Huh.
I mean, we could, because I don't think we ever properly reviewed Godzilla 2014. Was it wait? Which was the first legendary one?
Yeah, it was the 2014.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was
2014.
2014.
Okay, so we never properly reviewed 2014. Which, to be fair, the show didn't exist at that time.
I mean, to be
Yeah,
to be honest as well, whatchamacallit, next year is the 10th anniversary for the legendary Godzilla.
this is true.
Yes.
And we did get to meet the Godzilla actor at Japan World Heroes, and he was a really nice guy.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Didn't he
He
have
was
like a
very
pretty
nice
cool,
guy, and he had
pretty cool drip?
yeah. Dude,
He
I
was
straight up
dripped out.
like Jay can attest. I straight up went to him and was like, dude, you have the most immaculate outfits. Like, holy shit. He was a really nice guy. Really nice guy. Really good voice too.
For those who weren't there, I think the best way to describe it is that he dressed like a guy from like a '90s cop show, or like a detective show.
And it was
Like
great.
he looked like he belonged on Miami Vice.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
But yeah, I mean, I think we could. I mean, when does King Kong Godzilla?
I think that comes out sometime
Like
next
April,
year. Like what, February, April,
Okay.
something like that? I don't remember.
Wow, really? That early?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
also not gonna lie,
Huh.
that shot of Godzilla and Kong running together. A friend pointed this out to me, but I can't unsee it / unhear it now.
Oh god.
So you remember that like old Super Smash Bros. For the N64 commercial?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, like one of my friends just like tried to like play, like put over like that Happy Together song just like on that running clip, and now I can't unsee it or unhear it.
Please tell me you guys
Oh no.
saw the absolute schizo post that somebody on Twitter posted. Please tell me you
You're
guys
gonna
saw
have to
this.
narrow it down, AJ.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
realize
okay,
how
okay.
vague that is, right?
This was from a Japanese Twitter account called Wild Bird 3 o'clock. And this is translated, by the way. Godzilla and Kong's dash scene has been released, and the more I watch it, the more I get excited. Maybe they're enjoying their youth to the point where they pretend to be in the middle of a joint fight, but they hit it off so much that they suddenly want to run. Or maybe it's Godzilla's mischievous side when he wakes up and pranks Kong. Who doesn't understand jokes at all? Sex can't be erased at that moment.
What?
What?
Hold on.
What?
What?
It's that last part, right? Like, that comes out of nowhere.
That really comes out of fucking nowhere.
Like, what?
I appreciate the unhinged nature, but also at the same time, good lord, that is so unhinged.
That is truly unhinged bullshit. But okay, look, I like the legendary Godzillas. They're all pretty fun for the most part. I still think above all of them, after rewatching some, I still think King of the Monsters is the best one.
Yeah.
I still think it's the best one, even though personally I still wish they fixed the lighting issues. But hey, fourth time's a charm.
Maybe.
I'm expecting nothing but a fun little romp. Like that's the main thing about these legendary Godzilla movies. They're
Yeah,
not
Monsterverse,
pretending. They're not pretending to be more than they already are. Like they're not going to sit there and be like, oh, this is Oppenheimer levels of deep. No, it's two big monsters. Big monster.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it. I'm definitely gonna go watch it. But yeah, I think we do definitely need to do a stream review through of the legendary series so far because there's only 4 movies. Yeah, 4 movies. Yeah.
If you count Skull Island, there are
yes.
4 movies, and there's also that TV show.
Yeah, Monarch.
Oh, Monarch, right? I
Yeah.
forgot that's a thing.
I heard
There's also, I know it's not canon, I think, but there's the Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong comic going on right
Based.
now,
Oh,
which is
Justice League.
way better than a comic with that title sounds it would be. It's so much fun. I don't know why, but they decided everything was all Toy Man's fault because I mean you got to have somebody cause it all. So
But yeah, thank you for that question. So let's move on. Let's see here. Oh, this is gonna be a fun one, especially for me because I haven't even started this fucking thing. This one's from Oscar. Thoughts on Gotchard so far? Haven't even tried.
Haven't even started it yet.
man, Gotchard is so okay. It is just all right.
It is the most okay show that's ever been okay. to steal a line from the Zoomers, it is one of the Kamen Rider shows of all time.
Literally, it is one of the writer shows of all time. I'll fully admit I'm behind. I haven't watched the last 2 episodes when the new guy showed up, the villain. I did see his transformation, and oh my god, that was crazy. So I'm a little behind. But other than like 1 or 2 episodes so far, it's just been like, all right, yeah, things are happening. I keep comparing it to Wizard, and for the most part, that's somewhat unfair at this point. because it has that just general feeling of early Wizard where it's just like things are happening. Do they matter? Are they interesting? Maybe occasionally. But yeah, that's the best I can say so far. Is it's just okay. I don't really have strong feelings about it yet.
We'll see what happens when it ends. What about you, Chad?
Yeah, I've been keeping up with Gotchard. I will say, like all of you guys have been saying, it is definitely a writer's show. But at least to say the least, so the past 2 episodes have actually been getting noticeably better, which is good. I want to say like the latest or like the last arc, the Kyoto arc was actually pretty good. But then again, that's just like the only reason that was good is mainly because like they decided to do like classic Kamen Rider tropes, and frankly, I'm a little saddened that Kamen Rider nowadays doesn't do that kind of thing. Mainly because it's like one of those things where you feel like they should do this mainly because it's Kamen Rider, but they just never do because, you know, they're trying to outdo themselves, I feel like. But overall,
Yeah.
like I want to say it's getting better. It feels like a writer show, but I'd say like this kick in the pants for the show and like the main character, like it was needed. It was definitely needed. So I hope it gets better.
Let's see here then. By the way, thank you for that. Okay, so this one's gonna be a fun one. This one's from Lizzie. What do you think was the most wasted death in Tokusatsu? Whether it was because the character wasn't important enough to care, or they were revived haphazardly. Shit.
There are too many examples to count, I think.
You know what? I guess if you want to count like deaths that were like unnecessary. You know what? Excuse me. So a death that was unnecessary and revived haphazardly. Even though I hate this show, I still think it was really stupid how they did it. Caliber. No, was it Caliber? Yeah, Caliber from Saber. Kenta.
Oh,
whatever the fuck his name is.
Espada. Yeah, that's Espada.
Yeah, like because he died when nobody would give a fuck, and then he came back after nobody would give a fuck. So they hit both marks, and I was like, who gives a shit? Who cares? Nobody cares. And then he gave me probably the worst fucking arc in Saber. So it's like it's a triple-edged sword with this guy, which I guess hey that works for Saber, but still it's fucking great. Holy shit.
God, I'm trying to think.
I got one.
Like,
Go for it.
go ahead.
Nada in Ryu Soldier. I will always say that. You build him up.
You know what, dude? One of these days we have to do Ryu Soldier just to see that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd largely agree. In part agree.
Thank you, Chad. Thank you, because you know how much of a waste it was having 7 weeks of a new character come in, and then they waste him, and then they kill him off, all to give Red a power up.
You know what? Runner up. This is from a show I like, so it's fair. Demons from fucking Revice.
Oh yeah, I'd agree with that.
Oh.
Fuck that. What was that? Like in hindsight, it's even dumber when you really think about it. So I'm like, all right, that was stupid. What about you, Chad?
I'm still trying to think about mine. Oh man, because like wait, this is just to kind of reiterate the question though. It was I guess revivals or like deaths and revivals, right?
Like basically a death that was just wasted.
Okay, wasted death. Okay. Yeah. Oh man, that's so hard.
Would you guys put Jin from fucking 01 on there too?
No, I feel like I wouldn't say that one was like done super badly because like sure it kind of happened. It just kind of happened, but it's like it's not stupid. Or like okay,
No,
Yeah.
or like you mean the first death or which death? Because he died twice.
I'd say the first one because story-wise it was important, but it kind of felt weird bringing him back. Really, you know what? If you want to put another
I would
Takahashi
say-
show, yeah.
I would say his revival worked. It just that they never really they never got around to explaining it. So that was kind of the weird part.
I mean, it was explained in the
the
V cinema,
entire
no?
narrative bringing him. Did it? I don't even remember. I never watched any of the V cinemas for Zero.
Honest to God, dude, you could put like most of Takahashi's shows on there. Like
That's true.
That is
like,
true.
Like, does anybody remember Pallet and fucking Poppy dying? I do.
Pallet died for like half an episode.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
Poppy died. Poppy fucking bit it, and then she came back. She literally just got better.
I think the problem is that like with maybe one or two exceptions, most of the deaths and revivals in Takahashi shows have at least had narrative excuses. Like Pallet and Poppy, yeah, they're fucking computer programs, so you can bullshit a reason for them to come back.
But then you got like Laser and Dan.
Well, yeah, like Laser and Dan, having them become Bugsters was like, I mean, there's technically nothing saying they couldn't do that, so that's fair. Laser was, of course, totally unnecessary to bring back, as we've said to death,
But he was a great character.
Dan, I could kind of. No, I was gonna say Dan, I can kind of give a pass because like he's the one who made them, so he would know how to do it. But fucking White Laser.
yeah, I would definitely agree with Laser there. I think he's one of the few, like, Takahashi revivals that just doesn't work.
Oh, I mean, shit. I mean, should we just call a spade? Because we're talking about Laser. What fucking Pug Jack?
You know,
What's going on there?
okay, no, yeah,
I don't even know what.
dead.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna
I
say
don't even
like
remember if Punk Jack even died. He just disappeared.
yeah, I mean just like he got his head blown up and apparently he lived? Question mark.
he got
It's the power
better.
of- it's the power of rock and roll, baby.
He had the power of getting better.
Because like I think kind of going off of this though, like I will say like ones that had like emotional damage and then only to get canceled out by the fact that they came back later. Like
Yeah.
honestly, the only ones I could think are post Drive, like Ghost Onward.
Yeah.
Like Ghost, well, was Ghost, and like death didn't mean a thing there. Exade,
Oh,
like
speaking of ghosts, sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off. I just remembered that they killed off Spectre and then had his fucking clone somehow take the dying Spectre's place to die and revive the real one. I don't know how the
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah,
that
dude.
worked.
I remember how
forgot about
stupid that
that.
was. I was like, what? What is happening?
What the fuck were they cooking?
Too many cooked in the
Crack.
kitchen.
They were literally cooking crack, Jay.
Oh fuck.
yeah. Then like you have like shows like Exade where they either turn into Bucksters or the Bucksters are just brought back because they could.
I mean, if you want to be like extra unfair in the sense of just how the dynamics of it worked or didn't work, every single death in Zeo meant jack shit.
I mean, yeah, that's because we had a time reset. But then again, like I want to say like the one that kind of bothered me the most was probably builds revivals, especially at the end of the series, because just like
Yeah.
up until then, like it did get an emotional response out of like friggin' what's like Grease and Rogue just kind of getting offed. And then eventually, like, oh yeah, because we merged the world and all this parallel world bullshit, like, we were able to bring them back. And it's like, I kind of get why they did it, but also at the same time, I don't agree with the choice on why they did it.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
you know what?
Oh, yes.
I was gonna pick something else, but bouncing off a build, bring Evolt back, because
Yeah.
it completely fucking invalidates everything that happened in the final arc of Build.
Yeah, he's right.
Oh, yeah,
He's
that's true.
right.
I'd agree. And then also finding out Build had a brother, or no, Evolt had a brother, and then eventually, just like random...
Evolt and Bevelt.
Yes. And then eventually finding out just like there are people that still retain their memories from the other world for some reason.
Even though the entire purpose was we may or may not even remember that we did this or even be alive after we do this.
Yeah, but apparently,
So all of it just gone.
yeah, all of it just went down the drain.
I mean, look, that plot line was that plot idea was kind of stupid when Crisis did it. It was really stupid when Build did it.
You mean the last 7 times Age Crisis did it?
I'm specifically talking about the original Crisis in this instance, where like
The Barry Allen died.
actually
Christ-
now that I think about it, like at the very end, the really like other than like the cosmic level reality warper motherfuckers, really the only person who remembered any of that bullshit was the Psycho Pirate, and he at least had an excuse. So.
Crisis 2, Hypocrisis.
That was called 0 Hour, which nobody remembers.
Crisis 3, Hypoallergenic Crisis. There you go. Anyways, those are shit. Build sucks. Moving on.
I don't know.
All right.
Build had its moments.
Oh,
Let's see.
real quick.
Yes,
Runner-up
yes.
one.
Oh.
Spoilers for Q Ranger for anybody of you three who hasn't seen that show and wants to watch it unspoiled.
I saw most of the final arc, but go on.
When they killed off the Black Ranger and then brought him back like 10 episodes later. Because I knew they were going to fucking bring him back because he was the only one they could have brought back because he's a fucking robot. It was such a waste. It was so, like,
Which show is
completely invalidated at all.
Q Ranger.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they have a big climactic moment where Takatora, who is Sasuke's brother, the Orange Ranger, kills the Black Ranger, but the Black Ranger's a robot, so like everybody already knew they were going to bring him back and rebuild him, and they did, and it was totally a waste of time.
I thought they did the luchadori
Literally the only thing they earned from bringing him back was to make a Metal Gear Solid reference. That's
This
it.
is
That's
true.
the only thing they
I
earned.
thought it was the luchadori thing where he basically pretended he was a master.
No, that was to minor tangent to continue before we go on to the next question. Had they killed off Champ and then done the masked stranger trope with him like they did in the show, it would have been way fucking better. Because when they do the Charlie Brown from Out of Town shit with Champ later in the show, it is completely fucking pointless. Because not only does everybody already know it's him, there is no reason for him to be doing it at all within the narrative of the episode. He just does it for some reason. Had they killed him off and they did that to bring him back, I would have been fine with it. But no, he just fucking walks on screen after being dead for like 5 episodes, and he's just like, kept you waiting, huh? And that's it. That's the entirety of his death arc. It was totally pointless.
All right. Well, this one's from Robbie. Hello, Robbie.
Hi, Robbie.
So-
Robot?
Yes, Robbie the robot.
Nice.
So let's say Sentai didn't have its 3rd and 15th chance and actually did get canned. How different would the landscape of Tokusatsu be right now? Would all of the resources go to writer, or would it just remain the same as it always was? I think you're kind of really being like
Very
wishful. That's a lot of wishful thinking to think all the money they would have from Sentai would be given to writer. I don't think that would ever happen because that didn't happen when writer wasn't around.
No.
Well, I mean, like some of the ideas, like when Rider was out, was actually channeled to Judanger because, like, if you think about it, like there's no other Sentai that's actually had like a buckler like changer. So outside of Judanger.
Well, I meant more like money wise.
Oh.
Like I don't think like I'm gonna be honest. Like if Toei had 500 million yen for both shows, yeah, the extra 250 million is just gonna be gone. They're not gonna give it to Rider or any other show for that matter. They're gonna pocket it.
Yeah, or it would go to something else.
I mean, if anything,
yeah.
like the thing that I probably think or like assume is that they'd either channel it to like Toei Tokusatsu Fan Club Productions or either other movies instead of like full-on TV shows probably.
Because the thing is, like, if Sentai was canceled, and let's pretend it was being canceled after, I don't know, Tokyu. I was gonna say Tokuger, like more recent. Like, let's say Tokuger was where it got canceled, right? Because that's where like the rumors started, anyways. If it had been canceled then, I don't really see it changing much for Rider, honestly. Because what would really change for a Rider if Sentai got canceled? Nothing much, not that I would think. At least production-wise. Maybe it would be different because, like, now they can't do, like, Toku spirit concerts with Sentai now, but I don't know.
They still could.
Well, they could, but not, like,
Not
new
like,
ones.
yeah, they always do.
I think the thing, like, yeah, that's the problem is that They said like what? They said something in 15th chance in the question.
Yeah.
So I'm going to assume that by this hypothetical they mean had Jetman not worked and Sentai was canceled back in the 90s when it was going to be. I think it's like that's the problem with this question is it depends exactly when Sentai was canceled. Because if we're talking it was canceled back in the 90s, there's too many variables at play because even then they still had Metal Heroes, which were still going relatively strong, but were on their decline anyways. Rider wasn't back yet, other than actually Shin wasn't even out yet. So
Yeah, I think if anything, Shin was just a concept at the time. Although that was also before Ishinomori died, though.
That's also true.
That's right. So, who knows? Maybe they would have made something new to fill in the blanks. Maybe Metal Heroes would have got a bump in attention. Maybe they would have put more money into that basket. Maybe Rider would have come back sooner and as like a TV show rather than just the movies. It's really, that's the problem, is that there's really too many hypotheticals at play depending on when. And if it was back in the 90s, especially now, who knows? Like, Rider coming back when it did was after a string of attempts, and it was kind of a miracle that it ended up happening with Kuga.
Well,
Metal Heroes was dead, and Toei hasn't tried any new series that wasn't based on an old IP since fucking Kabutak, which killed Metal Heroes. And they haven't tried anything wholly new since. So who knows? Maybe they would have tried something new to fill in that blank around that time. Maybe there was various attempts to spin off, Rider or whatever. Like, maybe Hibiki ended up actually being a Henshin Ninja Arashi reboot. Or maybe Ryuki ended up being a Metal Hero show. Or all these ridiculous, early production ideas would have spun off because... well, they don't have Sentai to fall back on, so they gotta try something else.
See,
maybe...
I it's weird because, like you mentioned, all the variables here. Like, this is if it was canceled in the 90s. I was mentioning it, canceled in, the 2010s.
Or you know what, let's...
Yeah, I mean, if it was canceled, recently, last 5 or 10 years, probably maybe Rider would have gotten a budget bump had they not created something new to fill in the blanks, but...
Honestly, I don't see Toei doing that.
Not even not even significantly. It would probably get bumped up maybe an extra 20,000 yen an episode or so, which is
much.
about 2 episodes worth of budget in one. So possibly a little better, but probably not anything significant.
Well, I was more going for in the 90s I could see Toei taking a risk on something new, but in the 2010s. I think Toei was too scared to do something.
Well, I mean, let's also think about it this way, because back in the 2010s as well, that's when they were also trying to plan out or pretty much redo all those old Ishinomori projects or creations rather, because you had your superhero Taisens, and then you also had that moment when they brought back Inazumon and Forze, and then they also had the Akumizers that fought against Wizard. And, you had all those guys. And then at some point, they also tried to do a Space Squad, which was apparently Sakamoto's version of the Avengers or something like that, last I remember. And then that just didn't go anywhere.
Oh, I wish it had.
So...
yeah.
I mean...
It's a lot of, okay, but what if this didn't happen this way? It's like Jay said, there's so many variables in play here that... It's an interesting thought experiment, but I don't think we'd ever really get somewhere without having the actual Toei blueprints right in front of us, because we'll never fucking know.
Because I think say for example, if we were to do that today, if say for example if Dawn Bros wasn't successful, or if Dawn Bros was the last Sentai and they went out on a big bang, because let's just put it this way, I'd rather see a universe where Dawn Bros was the final and it did well. In that case, I would instead of maybe outrightly canceling Sentai for Sunday mornings, I could see them moving Sentai or having you remember that that 4-week Sentai special after Lupat before Ryu Soldier?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that.
I could see them maybe doing something like that as a TTFC special, and just kind of keeping it going maybe that way, but also not outrightly like inventing new teams or like new warriors or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, there you go. Here's one from Alex. Seeing as this is the end of the year, can you guys give us your top 3 Tokusatsu of 2023? Only things you've reviewed. That is fucking easy, but I will go last. Jay.
I'm actually blanking.
What?
Fucking
What did
Tenshi
we
Rosetta, Eco Ganger. What the fuck else did we do?
Well, I mean, you can go
I'm
all
trying
the
to
movies that
fucking
we
figure
saw
it out.
this year, because like this year was a good year for Tokusatsu movies in theaters.
Definitely, yeah. I'm sure. Fuck, you can't remember half the
Shin
stuff we
Ultraman
did
was a
this-
good one.
Oh yeah, K-Tai obviously at the top.
Damn
K-Tai,
it! I
yeah.
still hadn't
Yeah.
watched K-Tai. I wish I'd watched K-Tai.
Number 2, Don Brothers, because we read that this year. And number 3, this is a good question.
Dude, fucking Don Brothers was this year. I swear it feels like 2 years ago.
I know, right? It's
It
crazy.
feels like it's been years since we did Don Brothers.
Uh,
Oh, we did Dimension Canon.
you know what? I wouldn't put that in my top 3, honestly.
Really?
I mean, it was that's like top 5 definitely, but I wouldn't say top 3.
Oh.
No, Geets isn't top 3 either. Trying to think.
We did do Shin Kamen Rider this year.
We did. We
Oh,
also
yeah,
did
you
Shin
know what?
Ultra.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I think that's my top 5 would be K-Tai, Don Brothers, Shin Rider, Shin Ultraman, and then Daimajin Kanon.
Look at that. Jay gave you 2 extra ones just for you. I would definitely put You know what? I would put K-Tai at the very top of the top 3 because it has been a while since a show has kept me that hooked, like legitimately hooked and just on my toes. Of course, right afterwards is Don Brothers. Don Brothers is the best Sentai that's ever been made, and I'll hear nothing of the sorts against that because it was fucking great, and I still need to show that to everybody who can listen to me. Number 3 is going to be weird because I did like Shin Kamen Rider, but I liked Shin Ultraman a little bit more, so I think that's going to be number 3 for me.
I was
After
about to
that,
accuse you of copying me.
well, see, like I like Shin Kamen Rider, I did, but I like Shin Ultraman and what it said a little bit more.
That's fair.
I think one of these days we're gonna have to do all the Shin movies all together just to see what's going on there. But as of right now, Shin Ultraman is like my number 3.
Wait, does that mean we gotta watch Shin Evangelion?
No, you don't.
No.
No.
Because Shin Eva is already like, it's just a name gimmick that he decided to do last minute from the looks of it.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Chad?
Yeah, that's wow, that's really hard. Yeah, definitely Don Bros is one of them. Top 3 though. Man, I'm like trying to figure out or trying to remember like which episodes I was actually around for, so.
You were around for both of the Shins.
Yeah, I was definitely around for both of the Shins, but it's just like that's like low hanging fruit.
That's true. That's the easy one.
Yeah, that would be like the easiest one because like I did enjoy both like quite a bit. And then I could also easily say like whatchamacallit, also Geets, but then again low hanging fruit.
We did do finish up doing the Gain stuff. So.
We did. Oh
No, that was last year.
You don't want to put the Zangetsu
No,
special.
that was last year.
wait, that was last
Was
year.
it
Yeah,
last year?
I'm actually looking at
that
the
was
Spotify
literally
list right now.
That was literally right after we did Black Sun.
Oh yeah, that's right. And also,
yeah.
That was end of 2022.
yeah, because just like I was also thinking about including Futo PI, but at the end of the day, that was also like end of last year as well when that happened.
That's crazy, right?
Oh yeah.
No. It's so weird.
Let's see though.
You don't want to put Once and Always there, Chad?
Of course, because I loved Min's acting. And Min as a character and concept. She
And
killed
we don't.
my mother.
Oh, wait. What about Wecker? We did Wecker this year.
Whacker!
Oh,
I wanted to say that as a joke, but I knew you guys would get mad.
Of course, I loved
that's right,
Wecker.
we did
Wecker's the
Wecker.
greatest show that everyone needs to watch.
Oh, I erased that from my mind.
But you know what? I guess just kind of going off the list of what we got, yeah, I'm just gonna be super basic because yeah, no, I both enjoyed like Shin Ultra and Shin Rider. Like if we're just going off the things we purely reviewed this year.
Yeah, I think that works.
So.
What about you, Phil?
Well, I can't say K-Tai because I didn't
Because
get...
you were a bitch and didn't watch it.
I started watching it a couple months ago. Shut up! Actually, I will say it is pretty good from what I've watched so far, and I want to watch more of it.
Opening.
No.
You should have watched more of it when we tried to review it.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Here's the thing, Jay.
Slut.
I was busy watching Blade.
No, you weren't.
I was watching
No, you
Blade. Remember?
No, you weren't.
You can do both.
No, I
Oh,
couldn't.
that's right. You finally finished Blade this year.
Yeah, that's right. I did.
Phil, I got arrested once, and I still managed to watch both shows before a review.
Okay, so if I'm being honest, Dawn Brothers is going to be up there because it's Dawn Brothers. That was just like the greatest. That was like an experience that I will definitely tell my friend who I told Hentai Comment about too.
At least Dawn Brothers is more socially acceptable.
I would
It
largely
is,
part
though.
agree.
With that cuckold twist, is it really?
I mean,
Well,
it's
Does
better
the
than
cucking
seeing
make
a
it
guy
more
running
social?
around in his underwear beating up people in his underwear
Yeah.
while wearing underwear.
it's kind of in vogue now, unfortunately.
Cucking is in vogue. I don't think we
Little
need
bit.
this. Okay, anyways, Phil.
Shin Ultraman because
Uh-huh.
I wasn't in a lot of reviews this year, so Shin
'Cause you a
Ultra.
bitch.
Shut up! I'm not. I ain't no little bitch. You the little bitch.
Anyways, Phil, please continue.
And Geets because Geets was
That's fair.
awesome.
Yeah, Geets was a solid show. I will admit.
I'm surprised. It's a good sign of the year for us when Geets, as good as it was, is still like maybe bottom 5 for me. Like bottom of top 5 for me.
Oh, definitely. I
I think that's a good sign.
Definitely. I was actually gonna
Yeah, I
say
think
that
we weren't-
earlier.
If we weren't limited to just doing stuff we reviewed, probably would have put it higher, but because we were going off stuff we reviewed, yeah, I wanted to put other things.
Especially like things that we also haven't reviewed as well. I want to say Blazer is actually really good. So
Blazar is fucking great. So
I can't wait to review Blazar.
I need to watch Blazer.
If Blazar really is just the spiritual cum child of fucking Unfix, I'm ready.
It is.
I'm so fucking ready because one, it's Unfix and it's great, and two, Unfix is coming back, so Unfix Sweep 2024. So let's go. Anyways, next one. Let's see here. Which one should? Oh, here's one. This one is from. Hold on, where's the name? This one's from Steven.
Universe?
no,
Ew.
I hope
never him.
God, what's wrong with you? Get out of here.
There's
I
a lot
watched
wrong
too
with
much
me.
of that show.
All right, this is from Steven. Of all of the independent tokusatsu shows you've seen, what do you say gets the gold star?
Of all the shows I've seen,
Like of the indie tokus.
I know for AJ it's gonna be K-Tai.
Well, no, that's not indie. Because like I'd say like
IG, that doesn't count.
Oh,
because just like in terms of like indie productions, like we're probably assuming like your local Toku show or like your local Toku heroes or like your low budget ones or basically the ones that are not funded by the big studios like Production IG, Toei, or Toho.
I almost don't. I don't want to say Dogengers because that seems like not really independent anymore. To me, at least.
Nowadays, definitely not.
I don't. I mean, maybe season 1 if we want to count season 1.
Yeah.
I mean, the most they stretched their budget was like a hang sandwich and a handshake for fucking Zeranos, but like
It's true.
I wonder just
That's
how
the-
much
that's
they
the
got
thing.
for like Kira Q-Men though.
like $5.
Not fair.
Like, it's weird because like I know we've done independent shows, but I can't really think of any that I would say like go out of your way to watch.
Yeah.
Like Dogenshin was fine, but I wouldn't say go out of your way to watch it. Hojin Yatsurugi's okay. We still need to watch the one. Isn't there one with Toshiki? Masahiro Inoue?
Oh yeah,
there's the one
Jisari's.
he's
There we go.
doing.
Yeah. That's on
So
YouTube,
we
I
need to
think.
watch.
So
We need to watch that one of
Yeah.
these days. Like, there's a few like locals that we do want to watch or independents, but like of the ones that we have, like none of them I would say are like gold star worthy. Like as funny as Eco Gainer was with its implications, I'm not gonna say go out and watch it really. So I can't say any of the indie tokus that we've seen are that great, honestly.
If we want to count it, I'd say EK Boys, but I also don't want to say that just because
or
talked
whatchamacallit?
to
What
the
about
director and it seems
Lucas's
biased.
film?
Yeah, there's Lucas's. His was pretty good too. I mean, again, we did talk with him and hang out with him a little bit, so I feel a little biased in picking that one. But
I
would
will
definitely
yeah.
use that as a good example too.
You know what? I don't even give a shit if it sounds biased. I will say I loved Infernal Swordsman just because it was so like my vibe. So I would say go out and watch that. EK Boys 2 I think is a pretty fun watch. If you just like the absolute bonkers bullshit that is like Showa era Tokusatsu, yeah, I would say go watch that. But that's really the only ones I could think of, honestly. Well, all right. Next question. Excuse me. Ugh. This one is.
Nice.
Oh Jesus! That is not his name. This one's from Carl. What do you think
Hey, you guys.
What do you think the future holds for the Power Rangers franchise now that it's apparently burnt to the ground? Fucking stay buried.
A cold and shallow grave.
Who cares? Who fucking cares? Does anybody actually give a shit? Really? Does anybody give a shit? No, they don't.
At this rate, I don't think so.
Who the fuck cares? Like, I mentioned in our Once and Always review, the people who like this shit are always gonna like it, and they're gonna have no standards for themselves whatsoever. So who fucking cares? Let it burn. I don't give a fuck. Like, if it really is over, like they say it is, I'm not gonna shed any tears. I don't fucking care.
You know what? I will say.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh, go on ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. At this point, it just needs to fucking stay in its grave.
You know what? Let me put it this way. Power Rangers is like Ric Flair. It keeps thinking. It keeps thinking it can go one more round.
It
keeps
shills
thinking.
Fucking lotto tickets. That's
Yeah,
how
it shills Global Force Gold. Anyways, it keeps thinking that it can go for another round. It keeps thinking that it can keep going, but every single fucking time it gets in the ring, it embarrasses itself more and more and more until you just want to cry of embarrassment for it. That is what this franchise is. And I think the only way you can put an old dog like this down is by strapping it to a fucking coffin and burying it. That's my promo.
Fuck. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. I can't top that, dude. I can't top that analogy.
You just killed Jay.
Nate, my guy.
Woo!
Just let it end.
What about you, Chad?
You know, I am of two minds. I think in terms of, like, say, for example, Simon Bennett, like, I think after kind of hearing a little bit about what he had to kind of go through in terms of just kind of like the company mandates that were coming all the way from Hasbro, it already kind of shows that, like, if anything, he's not really to be blamed. I mean, in terms of all the things that he was doing on Twitter, that's on him. Don't really care, but also at the same time, you probably shouldn't be doing that kind of thing on Twitter anyways, and getting in arguments with fans and just like doing that. Because I mean, at the end of the day, really, what good is that gonna do you? Let's be real.
Yeah.
That's kind of your fault. You're asking for it. But I think especially just kind of looking over like the state of Hasbro and Power Rangers and whatnot, like clearly, like I want to say it's those at the top of Hasbro that don't know really what they're doing, because like, say for example, when you have like or like a Japanese franchise like Sentai or Rider, right? Like, when you always think about it, it's always been about the franchise and the lore first before the money, right? I mean,
Yeah.
granted, we can obviously debate by Banzai standards that, the money is always going to be the most important thing about the gimmick, But even so, it doesn't feel as corporate. Keyword as.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, when you take a look at, like, say, for example, Power Rangers, right? It definitely feels a lot more corporate, definitely a lot more cold. Because, like, say, for example, when you at least had it at Saban, right? Like, especially, like, say what you want about Mega Force and how that went. Like, you can at least tell that there was, like, a lot of love and passion, like, trying to get it back and, like, trying to get it back to its roots and, do everything that it could. So that way it's not like a lifeless husk of what it used to be, like what it is now. And
Chad said it best.
I think as long as you have the right people running it, like whether that be debatably fans, again, debatably, or like people that just love the franchise outright, like actually that puts the franchise first before the money. I feel like maybe this might be what it needs in terms of like a break. Maybe it just needs to rest a bit. Just needs to take a nap, or just needs a good 8 hours of sleep before coming back. Or in this case, just let it rest. Just let it rest in peace. Just let Sentai do its own thing. Just let it do whatever it's doing. But I think overall, in terms of Power Rangers, yeah, no, they can feel free to stop, but if someone like absolutely wants to pick it up again and like actually try and go for it, like as a fan of the franchise, then go for it. I won't stop them.
I
Well,
think that's reasonable.
you heard it here first. Chad says Sentai is dead and Power Rangers shot it.
Yes.
That's definitely what he said.
100%,
Exactly.
Yeah.
of course.
Verbatim. Yes. Anyways, next question. This one's from Jay. Wow.
Oh?
Jay, did you
I
ask us
definitely
a
sent this
question in
one.
advance?
Anyways,
Yeah.
so this one's from Jay. What is your unpopular suit opinion for Tokusatsu?
That's a good question.
Huh.
I don't think Toei Gold is as bad as everyone says. It's just been the
Overused.
worst of Toei Gold is more mainstream than the best of Toei Gold.
I think the worst of Toei's Gold is usually paired with a really bad color, so it does tend to make it worse.
Exactly. I think they usually use the worst combinations of Toei Gold, and I think like people will point to like the ascended Roid Mutes or the evolved Roid Mutes, which fair enough.
Well, I'm specifically talking about like color complements, like accent colors or secondary colors, like Beast Hyper.
Oh
Like,
god,
Beast
that
Hyper
was
has-
so nasty.
The Toei Gold and like fucking bright sparkly blue, which just looks terrible.
Or
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
or you have the absolute fucking what is this bullshit that is Espada's Triple Crown bullshit form. Whatever that
You know what
thing
this gold
is.
form needs is more gold.
And just
Oh,
in case,
yeah.
gold.
No, let's just. No, I'm going to be
Well, he
completely honest.
eventually
All the triple combinations for Saber all looks bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like the full solid colors, they just don't look good.
Oh yeah.
And thankfully,
They look wonk.
thankfully, Espada gets Arabiana Nights, which doesn't.
Who fucking cares? Saber sucks.
Well, eventually we're gonna have to watch it.
Anyways, we're supposed to be having
What do you
unpopular-
mean?
Wait.
We already did.
We didn't watch. We didn't.
Well, we didn't watch the
that
V
one.
Cinema yet.
We didn't watch the V Cinema.
I don't give a shit about the V Cinema.
Oh, I was about to say like
Hey, who
He
that
watched
caught me
Saber.
off guard for a second when HR was like, "Wait, we did Saber."
who knows? Maybe it might be another Darth Danton the Wise.
No.
I mean,
I
to
don't
be
think
completely
so.
honest, we already have Danton coming back apparently.
Oh no!
fuck off.
Well,
Shut
no.
up.
Okay,
What?
see, here's the thing. Like, I was the one that bothered to watch the Ghost and Saber specials, and apparently they're just like, "Oh yeah, that's right. We're gonna continue on your legacy, Danton." And it's just like, who the hell are these guys? And it just never went anywhere. Or it might go somewhere
what,
in
the,
friggin'
the
Outsiders.
mystery
I don't
beat?
know.
Yeah, that's tying into Outsiders, but that's all like they haven't mentioned him once, and it's all been Foundation X doing shit.
We need
so,
to watch Outsiders.
Well, Outsiders isn't technically over yet, but like, wait, now I'm wondering, like, how the fuck does Foundation X even know who he was? He was lived in another dimension. It doesn't make any sense.
Foundation X knows everything, Jay.
Yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
fair.
Anyways, back to the original question though.
Back to the topic.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be talking about unpopular opinions, and railing on Saber is not unpopular. You know what? I got one that is actually unpopular. I hate pretty much all of the Millennium Era Godzilla suits.
Really?
They're like most of Godzilla's designs in those movies. I hate. There are parts I like GMK's Godzilla with like the fucking bright white eyes. That's cool on somebody that isn't Godzilla, or like. Because we just saw it recently, Godzilla 2000. He looks kind of dumb. Or in, like, Tokyo SOS or the ones with Mechagodzilla. Like, he looks too much like a cat, kind of. He looks too lizard-like.
You don't like the one from Final Wars?
Final Wars is... Final Wars is like somebody, like, took Heisei Godzilla and just kind of, like, sanded him down a bit.
That's my favorite design.
And that's fair. Like, that's what I'm... Like, that's the point. This is... controversial. This is unpopular opinions. I'm like just speaking in general, like a lot of the redesigns they did. Like I've said before, I don't really like Kiryu all that much. I'm not a big fan of like Megaguirus. Doesn't really look like he belongs in Godzilla. I'm not a fan. I like Orga. Orga again looks. Orga's at least interesting. Orga's not a very good suit, but he's at least an interesting design concept.
And Mothra's Mothra.
I'm trying to struggle to remember most of the other, like... Baragon kind of sucked, but Baragon was a joke. I wasn't a big fan of Mothra's redesign either in GMK. Oh my fucking god. I was saving Final Wars Gigan for last because... What the fuck was that design?
That was
exactly what Final Wars is. Stupid.
He looks like
an edgelord.
Final Wars Gigan looks like regular Gigan walked into Hot Topic and just lived there for 10 years.
I kind of
what were they fucking smoking with the chainsaw hands?
Look, dude, Gigan got really into My Chemical Romance. Okay.
Jay, how can you? I mean, the old design wasn't as good either.
But it was a giant chicken.
Fucking kill yourself.
Make me!
Classic Gigan is great.
I'm not saying
fucking
classic
love him.
Gigan is bad. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying, how can you say that compared to the new design?
Because Jay doesn't shop at the imaginary fuckland that is edgy emo town 2007.
And you're talking to a guy
Talking
to a guy who likes both designs.
Yeah, Phil, but you also like trench coats.
Dusters.
I mean,
I like dusters.
Look, hey now, let's not talk shit about the trench coats.
I'm going to talk shit about the trench coats.
No. Let's not say things that we're gonna.
Are we gonna put a trench coat on Final Wars Gigan and it'll be okay?
I mean,
it actually would be kind of cool. I'm picturing
that would
it now.
basically change nothing about his design.
Oh, you know
no, that
funny?
just makes him Shin. That makes him Shin Gigan.
It's true. Oh, you know what? That should be like the next. That should be the next movie. Everybody, like every Shin movie, they just have like a duster.
Oh God, AJ. Now I'm just okay. I know you know this, but you know that one bit in Smiling Friends with the shrimp dude, and he's in the trench coat. That's basically just Final Wars guy.
How do I look, Godzilla? Oh
you
my
look like
God.
you're about to tell me not to go to school tomorrow.
I gotta fucking edit that now.
Yes, you have.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
No, that's literally like Final Wars Gigan looks like he's gonna tell you not to go to school tomorrow. I'm serious. Like, I don't think I like a single of the Millennium Era.
What about
Ghidorah.
King Caesar?
Or King Caesar.
You know what? This might expose me a little. I legit don't fucking remember what King Caesar was.
It was like a dog.
No, him, Anguirus, and what's the fucking mantis? Kamakiris?
Kamakiris.
I think so.
Yeah, they were just like the show era suits because they couldn't fucking bother.
Dude, see, at least like Anguirus is a fine design. They don't really need to change.
What about Ebra? Final Wars Ebra. Yeah,
Ebra's
exactly.
a giant
Final Wars Ebra,
monster.
bro.
It wasn't even a redesign.
Was he even?
Yes,
No,
he
wait,
was.
yeah.
He got murdered by the Asian people.
What?
No, it checks out.
What?
You don't remember? Like, they kicked him.
Oh yeah,
that's
right.
Dude,
they kicked it.
fucking most of Final Wars is a blur to me. Okay.
We need to watch
Well,
Final
stop smoking
Wars.
crack when you watch it.
Yeah.
You keep taking morphine every time you watch Final Wars. It's not good for you.
I need it. But no, to actually finish my unpopular opinion, because I actually have an unpopular opinion that isn't me being hyperbolic for once. Most of the Millennium Era suits or their designs, I've just never vibed with. There's always something wrong with them for me.
I feel that.
Even when they're like okay, like, or they have parts I like, there's still something that I don't like. Like, Godzilla 2000 Godzilla was obviously a rush job, so he doesn't look very good. But he's at least a decent idea of what Godzilla should look like. Or like again, like the Mechagodzilla one, or in Tokyo SOS, where he's just like he's too lizard-like. He's not humanoid enough to be Godzilla. Like that would work for somebody that isn't Godzilla. Like, that design would work if it wasn't Godzilla. That's kind of all my things. Like, they're okay designs, but they don't work for the characters. If they were like again, like if against Mechagodzilla, Godzilla's design was just a different monster with some slight changes, I think it'd be fine. I wouldn't really dig him too much, but I think it'd be fine. But as Godzilla, no, it doesn't work. Like, that's what a lot of it is there's a couple that I just hate. I just hate outright. Like, I don't like Kiryu. Kiryu is overrated as fuck. I mean, look, I'm biased, obviously, because I fucking love Heisei Mechagodzilla. It's, like, my third favorite Godzilla movie. But I've never liked Kiryu. He's over-designed. He looks... Actually, you know what? This isn't even a hard comparison. He looks like a fucking Evangelion. And that's not even hard because they've literally done an Eva Unit 1 color version of him. So that kind of says it all.
Okay, so I see your Final Wars Gaigan, but I raise you Final Wars Mania.
Oh, God.
Was that even a new suit?
I'm
pretty sure that was just the Showa era suit.
No, it was not. The Final Wars Mania? No, it was a different one.
I swear to God, it was.
No, it was a completely different suit. He did not look like the fucking Pillsbury Bull Boy. He was completely different.
Well, he still looked like he browsed Stormfront, so at least he's.
He is right. Godzilla says don't come to school tomorrow. You know.
Godzilla said COVID was made in a lab in China. Oh wait, no, that one's.
That
true.
one is true. Damn it.
Yeah.
Just like all conspiracy theories. Anyways,
Chad.
So next question. Oh yeah, that's right, Chad.
Honestly, I don't know. That's kind of hard. Like, I feel like
You hate Gottschalk's suit.
it's okay. Like, it's not my favorite, but I feel like it's an okay suit. Valvarad's also kind of just okay, but aside from that, though, like, in terms of, like, actual suits that are, like, unpopular suit opinions, I can't really think of any because just, like, I feel like I have basic tastes. Like, what can I say that hasn't already been said, for example? Like the new Faiz suits, people either really love them or hate them. I personally don't care because it's simply just Bandai being Bandai. And it doesn't erase the original Pfizer Kaiser suits at all, so it's like, again, really, like, is it really that bad? Or, like, I mean, we'll probably get a better look in the movie, but, I mean, still. Like, I don't know. I don't really have any unpopular suit, like, opinions, unfortunately.
That makes sense.
So
Phil?
I don't like when they use black and white suits in Sentai.
Why is that?
I feel like it messes up the color coordination.
okay, so
You know what? I see that.
Counterpoint. What do you think about Kamen Rider Joker?
Kamen Rider Joker?
Yep.
I think he's fine.
Interesting.
It's like, okay, when I say black and white, I mean like when they have a black and a white team member, but it has to work a certain way. Like Aba Ranger, it surprisingly works. I'm talking like when Mighty Morphin did it, when like they swapped out green for white. It always looked off to me.
Oh, you mean in terms of like
Because the White Ranger was from a different show.
Oh, that's what you mean by like basically a team member perspective rather than.
Yeah, then color wise.
Oh, I see. Okay, so case in point then, what are we thinking about King Oger suits then, or like that team lineup?
I like I'm. You got me in a bit of a paradox because Spider Kuminos is my favorite suit in that entire show.
Exactly.
I'm not the fan of the color layout. I just feel like I don't know. They've just been doing the same colors over and over, and I'm just asking. I'm begging them for once. Can we get a green, please? Can we get a fucking green, please?
When was it? Oh, Kira Major was the last time we had a green.
Yeah. See, that was
Yeah,
colorful. See, their suits are very colorful. That Sentai I will never ever say anything bad about when it comes to colors because they're based off of gemstones, and I love the colors for that. It's like Dawn Brothers. It worked, even though there wasn't a black and white. Even though there was a black, but I don't know. I think it
wasn't offset by like a white white Sentai member.
Yes.
Not gonna lie, almost said something kind of dangerous, but anyways.
Trust me, I've been trying to like not say anything because I know I'm going to say something. It
don't matter if you're black or white.
Anyways.
But yeah, that's my opinion.
Anyways.
Okay.
Anyways.
Next question.
Anyways.
This one's from Jared. He went to Jared's.
From State Farm?
From
No,
Subway?
that's Jake.
Oh, that's right. Shit.
No, not the one from... Oh, God. If it's the one from Subway, we need to get this out of here now.
We're like Jared from Maximum Security Prison.
Isn't it Jerry from Subway? Or no?
No,
No, it's Jared.
His
No,
name
it's
is
Jared.
Jared, and he's still looking good.
Jerry is I can't think of any Jerrys off the top of my head.
Jerry Springer.
Jerry Seinfeld.
Seinfeld. Nope, Jinx.
Jerry
No.
Lewis.
Jerry Lewis, yeah.
Okay,
Anyways.
question. Yeah.
All right. This one's from Jerry. What is a Tokusatsu series What Tokusatsu series do you think too many fans overlook? It can be something obscure or even something older. I mean, fuck it. I think Jay and I are going to say the same thing. K-Tai 7.
Yeah, he's going to say
Well, definitely that.
Too many fucking people have not heard of this show, and it makes me really sad because it's fucking amazing.
I think we have this conversation like every time we do something that's like obscure and ain't good. It's like if it isn't like Rider or Sentai from the last 10 years, the majority of like people have not.
I'd rate it the
and
last
never
5
watched
years,
it.
bro.
I'm being generous to be fair.
True, but I would say the last 5 years.
Yeah. Either way, if it isn't immediately like recent, the majority of people haven't heard of it, obscure or not. So I think a heavy majority of shows are definitely overlooked, I think is the problem. So there's just too many to really choose, in my opinion.
It's true. This is true.
Can we get this man true?
Again, I like I said, it's K-Tai 7 for me. What about you, Phil?
For me, it would be Common Teacher.
Yeah, that one seems to have just fallen off the radar completely.
And nobody talks about it.
Nobody talks about that.
It was between that and Tokusatsu Ga Ga Ga, but Tokusatsu Ga Ga Ga, I got the feeling people talk about.
Well, people talked about it when it was airing, but it's not something that really has much of a longevity conversation.
It's like Common Teacher was just, it was so good. It was just so like, I don't know how to explain it. It was just, it never has a show enraptured me as much as it did, and I just wanted more. I wanted more out of the end, but then I said to myself, you know what? I'm okay with the length of it. I'm okay with its length. What?
That's gonna be out of context in the server. What about you, Chad?
You know what? Would we consider this like technically Tokusatsu? Yusha Yoshihiko, kinda. I mean, it's like not it's technically not a Tokusatsu by conventional standards, but also at the same time, it's like I don't know. Like, would we consider that?
I love Yoshihiko.
If we counted as
I don't know.
Tokusatsu, it would fit, but I think that definitely gets a lot of attention outside of it. So it's kind of weird. Like, I definitely I definitely still see that talked about a lot. More so just the first season.
Yeah.
I don't think many people have seen the other two seasons, but I know the first season definitely gets talked about a lot. It definitely gets brought up a lot, at least in circles that I browse that are outside of the Tokusphere. So I'm hesitant to say.
Okay, because okay, like first off, let me just give the lowest hanging fruit. I think Wecker should be talked about even more.
It should, because it broke us so fucking bad.
It was the best Tokusatsu that no one talks about.
and it shall stay that way.
It was the best show named Wecker that we've seen.
Yes.
Don't say that now. We still got 5 more seasons of that bullshit.
Oh, fuck me, you're right.
Oh, Lord.
Like, holy shit.
And somebody's gonna get bootleg of, like, the stage shows or some shit for us, too. Ugh.
There's stage
Wecker?
shows?
There's, like, fucking 11 Wecker shows.
Oh,
and, like, half of
no.
them are, like, stage shows or movies or some other kind of event. I have no idea.
I think one was enough.
One was enough. I don't know how it got more than one.
Okay, when there's enough, like, they bring it. I've seen enough bringing girls back from into the future because they want to have sex with them and
Phil.
That went out of context.
Yeah.
I've also seen enough bro siscon stuff.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I have a dark.
Out of one landfill and into another fill.
Oh, fucking hell.
But, like, yeah, honestly, I think to go back to my answer before this gets any worse for Phil, doing you a favor, Phil. No, like, I'm gonna also just say this, like pre later Heisei Sentai. Like, I want to say maybe, like, mid-2000 Sentai around circa maybe, like, that period after Deca Ranger, like, Maji through Ghost Sager, like, that era.
Yeah, that doesn't get talked about a lot.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Because, like, no...
Those are definitely overlooked.
Yeah, because just, like, while again, like, a lot of it is Power Rangers fodder, like, that people do remember and whatnot, like, say, for example, like, Time Ranger, or, like, even Maji Ranger, like, Deca Ranger, like, or Deca...
Like Time Ranger.
No, wait, no, like, because, like, a lot of people revisit those seasons, because, like, from, like, Time Ranger onward, right? Just because, like, oh yeah, I want to see the Sentai that, like, that this show is based off of, you know? And I want to say, like, no one really talks about, like, say, for example, like, Geki Ranger, which I thought was pretty good. Gold Ranger, which is fun. Shinkenger. Well, I mean, Shinkenger is Shinkenger, and it's popular, and that's why it's my favorite. But like even nowadays, though, like if it isn't like I don't know, say Kyoryuger, friggin' what else? What came after Kyoryuger? Okay, like Tokyuger, or friggin' okay, I wouldn't say Ninninger, but what came after Ninninger? What Zyuohger was it?
Zyuohger.
Like yeah, like honestly, I wouldn't like if it wasn't for Sentai within the past 5 to 6 years. I'd say a lot of those shows are mostly forgotten.
Though I will add a counterpoint and say that nobody was talking about Zyuohger when it was airing.
That is true.
So
Yeah.
nothing's really changed there.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm just like, oh no, I'm trying to get
Shame,
a.
because it was good.
It was good. Yamato.
Was it though?
Yamato was refreshing.
Yes.
It was actually good.
It was so refreshing to not have a Red who wasn't a blithering idiot after
it was
4 straight
great.
years.
Yep. Because like we had what Daigo. Well, okay, Rai was.
Right
Not-
was alright.
He was okay. He wasn't horribly bad, but he also wasn't the greatest.
No.
And then Takaharu.
Yeah.
Well.
Let's not talk about Takaharu.
Well, thank you, Chad. And as Phil said, let's not talk about Takaharu. And as said, talk about Magic Mind. Now, what is Magic Mind? Magic Mind is a clean energy supplement with natural ingredients such as mushrooms and matcha without the excessive bullcrap of caffeine and all those awful chemicals that are in things like Red Bull and Monster. Hell, even Bang energy drinks. And of course, no crashes, no jitters, and you feel wide awake. And even though Magic Mind does recommend that you use it with your morning coffee, I personally recommend you just drink it straight up. It works perfectly fine, and as for me, I take one every single day and I feel like I'm ready for the morning. And personally, since I wake up at 5 in the morning, that's something that we always need. In fact, even my fiance herself used one, and she absolutely loved it. And of course, Magic Mind's main goal in all this is to make the best beverage on the planet for creators like ourselves, and maybe even you who's listening to it. And as I mentioned before, all the ingredients in Magic Mind are all natural, and mostly made with functional mushrooms and matcha. And believe you me, you taste none of the mushrooms and all of the matcha. And personally, as a lover of matcha, it is fantastic. So if you yourself do want to give it a try, we right now have a discount for 20% off your first order with magicmind.com/toku20. That is magicmind.com/toku20. And if you do happen to taste Magic Mind and try it for yourself, please send us a line. We'd love to hear from you. This one's from Wesley. Shut up, Wesley. Anyways.
Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Wesley.
Shut up, Will.
Well, that's racist.
Yeah.
All right. So, this is his question. Has a show you liked ever been soured for you? Whether it be something you didn't notice the first time you watched it, or it just didn't age as well as you expected it to. I'm not going to say soured, but I'll definitely say I'm not as nice to Exit as I used to be. I'm not as nice as I was the first time we watched it, if that makes sense.
The Geo episode of Blade.
Well, that's not souring it. That was already shit.
It soured Blade for me.
Well, that's I'm talking about the show itself, Phil, not something outside of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or like probably just like the season. Like say for example, I think a good example for me in this case would be me trying to enjoy Gaim, but also having all y'all's words ringing in the back of my head as I watch the episodes like a curse.
I mean, I can say, like, honestly, it's funny because they're both right next to each other in terms of, like, seasons. X8 and Build are both shows that, like, I have not been as nice to. Build, obviously, way more, obviously. But X8 2, I don't think I'm as nice as I once was. Build, I think, has been soured for me, though.
Yeah, I think those are good examples. Like Build, where like all the kind of goodwill goes out the window once you get to the end. So even rewatching it, it's like, I fucking can't stand this anymore. But also, like, I'm trying to think, like, not counting things where, like, a later addition to the canon, like, ruined it. Like, say, I don't know,
the Blade.
O's 10th
Oh,
fucking completely ruining all of the goodness of the ending, what little there was of the TV show by... Yeah.
so wait, did Jay finally admit that he didn't enjoy O's 10th?
Yes.
Hot damn. Character development.
I didn't say that I don't still think it was okay. Look, I will still say that there are parts of that movie that I like. I've still been honest that I hate the way that it ended and the way it changes the show. The movie as it is okay.
In the next, like, 2 years, it's going to turn around just completely.
Probably. But, excluding that, I'm trying to think, because I don't really rewatch shows other than from when we reviewed them. And for the most part, my opinions don't really change. Other than, like, maybe one or two of, like, the Power Rangers shows that I know I watched as a kid, and then going back now and seeing, like, oh, this isn't very good. Like, God, I'm dreading whenever I rewatch Time Force, because I know it's not going to be as good as it is, especially now that I've seen Time
Oh,
Rangers.
you know what, dude? You could definitely throw SPD in there.
Well, SPD's, yeah, I mean, that's a good one. That's a good choice, if I can't think of anything else from the next, like, 5 minutes, but... Yeah, this is one of those hard ones where I think about where, like, this has come up a lot when we've reviewed stuff where, no, my opinions haven't really changed too much, excluding, like, again, oh, this got a sequel, oh, this sequel sucks kind of thing.
Well, I guess
So
the one thing that I am looking forward to in this case, or like kind of in a similar note, is going to be Faiz reunion film, or like Faiz 20th. Because like,
yeah, absolutely.
like definitely it's going to have like all the trademarks of like recent writer, but though it's also going to be penned by Inoue, but we'll see.
It's true.
Well. Next question. Let's see, which one should I do? Here we go. This one is from Eddie. Why is it that so many Tokusatsu fans show no respect to the Showa era? I feel that the amount of almost erasure the Showa era gets from modern day fans is too common an occurrence. What say you?
Yeah, I think we've talked about this a lot.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
I think with the exception of, like, Ultraman, a lot of it is just, one, lack of accessibility. Like, the original writer has definitely gotten a lot of exposure now that it's been available, you know, to watch all of in a reasonable form. So, but beyond that, like, even immediately after, like, V3 or X are basically non-existent to people. And God forbid you talk about God forbid you talk about a Sentai team from before the year 2000 in general, but
Bioman.
all of, like,
Or not,
the Showa era Sentai.
or like pre-Judanger rather.
Yeah, I think that's a good one to go with. Like, with the exception of Jetman, like, nobody's talking about, like, Mask Man or Live Man or, like, Sun Vulcan, except for, like, the real diehard kind of fans. And that's another problem there, is, again, kind of goes into the usual problem of Toku fans don't know about anything that isn't, like, brand new. So, it's weird. Like, again, Ultraman is definitely the least bad in this regard, because I think it's, for one, Tsuburaya has always been very supportive of it and has really tried to keep that very heavily in circulation.
Besides that, I'd also debate like accessibility too, because like all the ultras are like basically on DVD now, right?
Yeah, I think every Showa season has been released on DVD in English. So there's that too as well, and plus they basically have everything on streaming. So that's another thing. So, I think beyond Ultraman, then especially if you get into like the stuff that isn't like the big franchises, like Alchemizer or Kikaider or Inazuman or
Robot Detective.
yeah, especially Robot Detective. Yeah, that one. Or there was another one I was gonna pick from like
Robocon?
I guess Metal Heroes too, but yeah, like again, it just kind of feeds into that larger problem. But I wouldn't say it's lack of disrespect. I think it's just like lack of knowledge in general. I think it's just these people don't know what it is. I think they might just barely know the characters. Because actually, no, because we haven't really had a big everyone is here type of crossover in quite some time. At least not one to have like Showa era characters. I think there was Superhero Senki, but I didn't watch that, so I don't really know how well that did.
Superhero Senki didn't really bring back any past Ishinomori, like whatchamacallit, like any of the past Ishinomori creations. Because like I want to say the last time we did any of that was probably maybe Superhero Taisen Z, or like even O's 40th, if we want to go like with the classic designs and not just rebooted characters. And this is also not including like the Kikaider reboot episode of Gaim, because that also happened. But
Sure did.
yeah, because like again, likewise in a similar vein, I can probably surmise it down to like either three factors. Either it's like one, accessibility, because you know all of Superdata's library has been mostly made available on DVD in the States for pretty much for cheap. I guess you also have like shows like the original 1971 Rider, but then again, Shin Kamen Rider also kind of reignited that interest. And then there's also like shows like Black Sun, in which people are now curious about the original Black, which was also conveniently released on DVD. Like Black and Black RX, but RX not so much because it didn't really do anything there. V3 or Kikaider, but then again, you'd have to be like a Hawaiian resident for that because that was big there.
It's true.
But yeah, like aside from that though, like you can't. I'd be hard pressed to say like unless you're like a hardcore fan, like you probably haven't really even watched any of them, or it's either that or like again lack of interest. The simple argument of, wow, this is old and repetitive. I don't want to see Kamen Rider saving a kid X amount of times again. And like him beating a kaiju or kaijin and just doing whatever he does because Rider Kick, it's not flashy, it's not cool. You know? But it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's those three factors in which the Showa era like seasons are typically more or less avoided. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I do think that there is.
That's a fair assumption.
I do think that there is, like as usual, the answer lies between everything here, and I do think half of it is just the fact that these aren't available as easily as we'd want them to. I mean, I would love to watch V3 officially.
I mean, there was a DVD release back in the day, but it was expensive.
It's true, but I would love to watch V3 officially, or Skyrider, or Super One, just to see where he's at. I would love to see that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I also think, like Chad said, there's just this big lack of interest in the fandom in general. And because of that, nobody fucking cares. Like, I can't tell you how many times I speak to, like, newer fans who, like, maybe hopped on, like, I don't know, like, Geats or, was Saber? No, Revice. Like, Revice or Geats. And both of them are just like, I don't want to watch that. It's too old. Nah, it's too. What's the storyline? Well, the storyline is that Rider 1 is kicking the fuck out of everybody. That's why. That's the story. But like people,
the story is Shocker bad, Rider good,
and something about imperialist China or something. I don't know. But it's weird because like so many people just do not even want to give it a chance. And I can understand, like Chad said, it is very repetitive. Rider 1 specifically, the original Kamen Rider is very repetitive. I'm not even going to try and deny that. But it also does feel kind of weird that so many people are like, well, I don't want to even give it a shot. Like, why not even just watch the first episode? You know, that's okay. Just watching the first. You don't have to watch all 99 episodes, bud. So you don't have to do that.
God no. Even I've never watched all of the fucking original show.
I don't think anybody fucking has, except for the people who were born in the 70s.
I mean, like, I think the only thing I can also say as well is, like, because Shin Rider happened, I'd say there's at least just an inkling, a little more of interest for those that enjoyed Shin Rider. But, like, aside from that, though, like, by and large, I wouldn't say, like, people are clamoring to watch the original 71 show.
But
No, I think that's fair. Yeah.
I would say that there is a bit of. I'm not gonna use the word erasure because that's kind of dramatic, you know. But I will say, for a fact, there is too little interest in the past, and I think because of that. And let's be honest, this doesn't just go for Showa era anymore. This goes back to the early Heisei era, pre-decade Heisei era. Like, so many people don't even want to watch shit before Kiva at this point because it's too old for them. Like, it's gone to a point where even that's too old. And, you know, before you know it, you know, Gaim's going to be too old. You know, the day will come where Gaim is too old for people to watch.
No, Gaim is timeless, sir. What are you talking about?
You know, it's going to come to that where, like, Gaim is too old, Double's too old. I would argue some people already think that. And it's come to the point where too many people are going to see these series, and unless they're officially released, no one's going to jump on the bandwagon, which I know sounds bad, but let's be completely honest. A lot of the shows that get more popular from the older seasons, like the older Heisei seasons, are because they were released here legally, and people just want to jump on the bandwagon. There's a reason why a certain watched Ryuki, okay? There's a reason.
Why he went from 01 to Ryuki to the original show and then hasn't watched. I think he watched Agito.
Yeah, he watched Kuga and Agito apparently, and now he's watching Blade right now.
That's right. Yeah, Kuga is available over here. Now.
Yeah,
it is.
Kuga is an Agito.
That's right. There is technically the official Agito release, even though I can't.
Honshin, bro.
Honshim.
I would have to imagine they fixed those.
No,
But,
you wish,
like,
buddy.
But you know, I like watching about the Orufet or Rufinoke or whatever.
Fucking forgot about that.
Rufinoke.
Rufinoke.
But okay, so this is the last question of the night. Thank you, everybody, for sending questions in. The last question of the night, not the last question we have on the list. Fuck's sake. This one is from Terry. All right.
Bogard?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Terry man?
McGinnis?
Nigel?
Dude, if it was Terry Man too, that'd be pretty
No,
sweet.
Terry man
Terry
can
man.
go die as well, along with Kinnikuman.
Wait.
They know
What
what
about-
they
Oh,
did.
What
you're
about-
making
what
a
about-
Kinnikuman
Okay,
reference.
Man.
Okay. Not Kiniko Man. Kiko
Kinnikuman.
Man.
Hell yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
See,
how do you
Kiko Man
pronounce it?
brings everyone together. Show me. Show you. Kiko Man. Kiko Man. I listen to that song way too often. Way more than I like
I
to
gotta
admit.
re-listen to it sometime soon.
So how
I
do you
listen to it
pronounce
more.
it? Do you pronounce it Kinnikuman or Kinnikuman?
It's Kinnikuman.
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 Okay.
Come on, Chad, join us.
Kinnikuman, but you know.
No.
We need to
Continue
watch
on with the
Kinnikuman.
question.
Anyways, this one's from Terry.
Guinness.
This is a bit of a paragraph. Do you think the critical sphere of Tokusatsu is lacking, as AJ would say, chutzpah? It seems that with few exceptions, no one wants to say that anything is bad anymore, and it leaves me feeling like no one wants to step on toes, or that these people sincerely have no standards for the shows that they watch. Is there something I'm missing, or am I just that cynical?
Terry, you're not missing anything. Trust me, we all know that feeling.
I mean, I think it by and large kind of depends. Because just like, if it's not a mainstream opinion, then whatever opinion that you do give out, like, you can't have, like, an original opinion unless it's something that's kind of mainstream, if you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, shit,
Yeah.
we got reamed up the fucking ass when we re-reviewed Build because we didn't suck its dick and telling everyone it's the greatest thing that's ever come since Jesus, which it's not. It really fucking isn't when you really think about it. But on the other hand, and this goes back to the Power Rangers thing we were talking about, and again, this goes back to our Once and Always review that we were talking about. I honestly think that some of these people, they'll just absorb anything. They really will. They'll just take anything that has the Kamen Rider label, or the Sentai label, or the Ultraman label, or any label you want to put on it. Anything that has the Tokusatsu label, they consume it with no standards.
No, you're absolutely right, and this isn't even really like a thing related to our specific sphere. This is just a general endemic problem with modern fandom as a whole.
And it's not just
modern fandom, since like at least the last 10 years, has been basically treating anything that is not 100% positive discussion as like anathema.
I mean,
like,
dude, fucking the MCU fans. Let's try that for a second.
Not even like that. Like, if you go on any major site, Twitter, Tumblr, fucking Reddit, any like what little forums there are, even like 4chan sometimes, depending on the show. If you go there and you have an opinion that is not either 100% positive or 100% negative about something, you are treated as if you are like the devil. You are shunned. You are given the scarlet letter, I guess, and to use a weird analogy. Like, on Tumblr, it's really fucking bad, where, like, if you dare have the audacity to use a tag of something and have something that isn't even remotely not 100% positive, you will be treated as if you are worse than Hitler. I have seen it so many times for so many different things, not even necessarily related to me, not even necessarily related to Tokusatsu. I mean, to use an example that I've talked about before, that happened to me recently, when King Oger started, and I was like, God, fucking King Oger started like 30 episodes in. This was a while ago, now that I think about it.
40 episodes.
Anyways, when episode...
It's almost been a year.
That's right. Jesus Christ. Anyways, when episode 1 of King Oger came out, I was like, this was bad. This was a bad first episode. This was ugly and I hate it. Here's all the problems with it. And people were fucking pissed off at me for weeks. Weeks? Because I thought it was bad. And I would not change my opinion. And people thought they could fucking bully me into submitting to the greater design. And I've seen that, like, that is just a general thing of modern fandom, where if you have an opinion that does not fall in line, you will be treated as if you are an abhorrent entity within that fan base that needs to be, I was going to say purged, but that's a little too harsh.
Ridiculed.
No, that's pretty much the right word to use. Purged.
I didn't want to say purged because that obviously
sounds
implies
dramatic.
certain. Well, it's a little dramatic and it implies certain connotations that I don't want to imply.
Yes.
But you get the idea that I'm trying to say is that if you have a dissenting opinion, even if it is only like 1 degree dissenting, you will be treated as an outlier until you are either forced out or forced to change your mind. And that is just general modern fandom. You're not allowed to have discussions about things. You're not allowed to disagree or have problems with anything anymore. If the majority have decided this thing is good, you have to like this thing if you are part of fan base. If the majority have decided this thing is bad, for whatever stupid fucking reason, even if you don't agree, you have to say it's bad. It could be, like, fucking, not to drag, bullshit politics and everything. People were pissed off about Revice because of all the shit that happened with Kimura. And I saw that a lot within early Revice, where if you thought Revice was good, then you're a fucking evil monster or whatever, because you're supporting some stupid whatever the fuck. Like, that has nothing to do with Revice. That is just a completely unrelated thing that just happens to be connected because somebody's involved. But because the majority decided Revice is bad because this, if you disagree, you're a problem. And then I've seen this happen even things where that don't relate to politics. That's just a recent example that I can use because the majority decided arbitrarily this thing is bad because so and so. And if you disagree, you need to be removed, kind of thing. And that's just general fandom. But it's really bad with Tokusatsu because of just how niche and insular. I am saying it right. I don't know why I think I'm saying it wrong. Insular.
Oh, insular.
The fan base is, especially in the Western-speaking audience. It's more noticeable in this fan base because of how small it is. So I wouldn't necessarily think it's a problem with our fan base. It's just a general problem with fandom in general. But no, you're absolutely right. A lot of, especially the bigger names, have problems with having any kind of dissenting opinion. And, like, I'm not even necessarily going to say that it doesn't happen. Like, not... As much as I think he was totally out of fucking left field and just wrong with this choice, when... Was it, I think... Yeah, Hakili said he didn't like Shin Kamen Rider. Like, people fucking raked him over the coals for weeks. And you know what? I think he's wrong because his reasoning was really, really dumb. But that's at least a case where, like, again, even somebody like him got treated like shit because he said thing is not the same as everybody else is saying. Like, I'll throw him a bone on that one. Like, yeah, the way, like, the rest of the fan base reacted when he said he hated Shin Kamen Rider, even I was like, you're a fucking moron for saying this, but I'm still gonna say, like, you're allowed to say you don't like it, even if you have a really bad reason for liking it. Or not liking it, rather. You know what I'm trying to say. Like, but the way everybody else reacted is, like, that's just kind of how it is nowadays, unfortunately, and you really can't escape it. That's the worst part, is that you can't escape it. And a lot of times, like, to be fair, sure, the people who are trying to be like, I really like this thing, or I really hate this thing, are a good majority of times they're trolls. They're people who are trying to incite a reaction. They're trying to start shit. They're trying to, I guess, again, this is going to be a really weird analogy, or really weird word to use. They're trying to, like, accelerate the downfall or the collapse of, like, especially with niche fan bases, where it's, especially really niche fan bases, where there are people who will pick, like, the most stupidest things to argue about, and they will, like, argue about it incessantly for weeks and weeks at a time, just in the hope that they get somebody stupid to agree with them, and just create a downfall that completely destroys any discussion. I have seen it happen so many times over the years, kids. Let me tell you. Yeah. But I'm going to wrap this up because I've been going for a little while, and I'm sure you guys want to have your own discussions. But the point is, yes, AJ is right when he says that. And I don't think you're missing anything. The problem is that it is just so systemic of just discussion of anything online nowadays, in fandom, in fan bases, that is horribly inescapable.
I think, yeah.
It's just more, again, it's just more noticeable because of how small and interconnected this fan base is.
I think the biggest issue for me, and I'll let who needs to speak on this specific issue more, because you know, it's the fact that you have to silence yourself from your true opinions when the internet is supposed to be touted as the market of free ideas. You're supposed to be able to have your opinion on whatever the fuck you want. Now, I'm not trying to be a politician here, but I'm talking about, if we want to stick to just our niche of tokusatsu, we should be allowed to disagree and think whatever the fuck we want about these shows. We should not be afraid to think and speak freely on what we think about these shows. However, unfortunately, to get anywhere, or to even just to exist in this fan base, like Jay said, you are forced to conform to the mass. And if you do not conform to the mass, you will be destroyed purged or thrown out. I'm sorry.
You will be assimilated.
You will be assimilated into the Borg. Resistance is fucking futile.
You'll become a
That's
pod
your
person
start.
whether you like it or not.
But like that's the problem. Like you have to be us or you hate us. And that is been something that I've hated since I was a kid. You're either with us or against us. Fuck you. Why can't I just think that build sucks? Why do I have to think how you think? Why do I have to think the exact way that you're telling me to think just so I can be in this fan base? Fuck off. Leave me alone. Let me be me and let me actually... And that's the thing, like, this goes beyond being, like, an objective, subjective thing. This is simple, like, just let people think what they want to think. And, and again, I've touted objectivity over everything. I always have done that. But I've always said the same thing as well. If you're going to like it, you're going to like it. I'm not going to fucking change your mind, and I don't care to change your mind. I don't want to change your mind. You can think whatever the fuck you want to fucking think. But if you're going to tell me that I'm not allowed to think this way because, Mr. Frou-Frou number 5 over here is getting mad about it on his fucking Twitter page, I don't give a shit. I'm sorry, I don't care. And if that ostracizes me from the rest of the fan base, obviously your fan base isn't good enough to be a part of to begin with. If that's enough to throw me out, your guys' fucking playhouse wasn't cool enough to begin with. So that's my piece. What about you, Chad?
Again, very good question. And honestly, I'm not even really sure what I can even add at this point, because like I feel like both you and Jay have already said like enough of what I'm actually thinking in that case. I mean, like really, what is there to add? I mean, again, it's the idea of objectivity versus subjectivity. As we've previously stated many, many times before, like even if you have like a shit opinion or if you have like an opinion that can be considered like shit to other people, at the end of the day, you gotta go in like prepared to throwing hands or prepared to throw hands with other people, just because hey, I thought friggin' say okay, for example, it's like I thought Black Sun was the greatest thing versus oh no, I hated it, yada yada yada, or just like I don't know, it's very, how would I put it, polarizing, but also at the same time it's hard. I think especially for something like Tokusatsu as well. Like I think as well culturally there's always going to be something that's going to be lost because not everyone's going to be Japanese, not everyone's going to be putting in the research and like the due diligence of understanding these shows that gives depth to understanding and thoughts. And I think like when someone presents like a different idea that's either based in that or not based in that, at the end of the day there's always going to be some kind of division, I'd say. And frankly, just I don't know, it's just kind of a pain in the ass to either like talk with people at the end of the day or like especially like on the online platforms, because I think especially say for example when all three of us were at Japan World Heroes, right, a lot of people were just pretty cool about opinions,
all three
right?
of us. Did we just forget about Phil? Or were you not counting yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm not including myself because I didn't get a chance to walk around.
This is
That's
this
right,
is true.
yeah,
he had bigger fish to fry.
I was frying
bigger fruit to fry.
No, you know what? He had bigger oranges to juice. How does that sound?
That sounds kind of wrong, but
phrasing.
Hey, you know what?
That really does
You know
sound
what?
wrong.
You know what? Phil was talking about liking someone's length earlier. It's okay.
Not like
I mean,
that,
listen, I
you
can't disagree
jackass.
with Phil on that one.
Anyways, go on, Chad.
Anyways, my words not being in the words of AJ. AJ does not speak for me. Yeah, no, like I can easily say that you three, and like especially every once in a while when I was able to get up from the table, and like kind of talk with people, but though that was typically at the end of the show or like at the end of the event or whatever. Everyone there was generally cool and just like more or less polite. I mean, obviously there are some exceptions in which it's just like, okay, you're either kind of creepy or okay, that's kind of fucking rude. But I mean, by and large, everyone's like pretty cool. But then again, this is also because we're talking in real time in front of people. So, it's like, it's typically not bad, but also at the same time, people are just really dumb online. So, like, I don't know. It's oddly, I don't know. I just don't know. You could, nah. I don't know, man.
It's just, it feels weird because the fact of the matter is, no matter how far, no matter how far you try to appease the masses and try to get everyone to see that, hey, at the end of the day, my words are just words. It doesn't matter. Literally, I always say this. I always try and say this. In this podcast, I take it 100% seriously what we're saying and how we're saying it. Outside of this, I don't give a fuck if you think Ghost is better than Kuga. I just don't give a shit. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, what am I going to do? Tell you you're wrong and yell at you out from across the corner? I'm not a crackhead. I'm a meth head. So it's different. I'm not going to yell at you. So, like, it's one of those things where, like, no matter how you strike it, you're going to piss somebody off. And I'm like, who fucking cares?
Like,
and it's weird, too, because, it's funny, Chad. You mentioned, you kind of touched on this. But for a fan base, and let's be honest, every fan base says this, and Jay coming from Tumblr can definitely attest. For a fan base that tries to show that, we love everybody, everyone is welcome, everybody is equal, everybody is welcome into this fan base because Kamen Rider is justice and exclusion and ostracization is not justice. For a fan base that loves saying that bullshit, you really like fucking hating people and throwing them out, don't you? You really love doing that. And, and again, that's the funny thing. For a fan base that says that, and again, like I said, Jay can attest to this coming from Tumblr.
If I had a nickel for every fan base that said we're opening and welcoming, and
we'd
then
be very wealthy.
arbitrarily, this.
You'd be very wealthy.
Oh well, I mean, I would be. Well, if you let me finish the sentence, but yes, as Phil said, I would be very wealthy if I knew if I had money for every time I saw a fan base that said they were opening and welcome, and arbitrarily decided certain individuals did not belong, and shamelessly and ruthlessly bullied them. So,
like, I think another thing is just, like, also keeping in mind, it's like, another thing is, like, I feel like every fandom takes everything a little, well, no, not a little, just everyone takes fandoms kind of too seriously.
Yeah.
And especially, like, when we think about, like, Tokusatsu, for example, it's like, let's also think about the audience that this was made for, too.
I mean, shit, we have an entire video outlining one of the biggest "this is serious business" in a fan base in Gaim. Like, we have an entire video, I think it's like a 15, 16-minute video, talking about how serious this fan base can get. But again, it's like you said, Chad. And I hate using this when it comes to reviewing it. But when we come back to the reality of the situation, this show is made for, younger boys and families. And it's weird to me that the messages of these fucking shows are completely lost on everybody. Just completely lost when it comes to this kind of shit. And it ends up, and I am not going to say specifics, but if you know, you know. And it ends up with situations that we've been in the past. And again, if you know, you know. I don't have to spell it out for any of you.
Yeah.
So.
And I think.
No,
go. You can finish. Okay. I think, like, that serious business nature has also contributed a lot to it over the last 10 years. Where, I mean, look, nerds treating stupid shit as serious business has been a thing since the fucking 1970s.
Yeah.
Since the existence of fan base for like anything, overly obsessive nerds getting really fucking upset over trivial bullshit has just been like the cultural identity of fandom. But the internet has especially made it bad because just like the way it's especially nowadays, now that the internet is so much more consolidated and insular so much more crowded together. Like back in like the 90s and the 2000s where fucking everybody had their own forum whenever they wanted to and there was a billion sites, like it wasn't as bad. But it still got worse just due to the general nature of the internet. But nowadays, now that everybody's kind of crowding into these giant mixed communities, it's gotten really especially bad. So I think it is just that general idea of a lot of it stems from the serious business nature of fan base just getting to a lethal degree in the modern day.
I mean, something that also, like, that always comes to mind whenever I talk to other people about this, it's like, something that people have told me, just like, when they meet me, it's just like, oh wow, you're not, like, kind of an asshole about your opinion. It's like, well, no, because, again, like, the favorite example that I like using is whenever I meet people is simply, I met a kid back in Japan, like when I was doing a homestay out back in 2019, and I've already told the story, I want to say like maybe once or twice on this podcast, but simply he and his family really liked Ghost, and like he was asked, like this kid asked me, he's like, oh yeah, what's your favorite writer? I was like, oh yeah, I really liked Gaim. What about you, kid? I was like, oh, me and my family really likes Ghost. I was like, oh, good on you, buddy. I mean, like, at the end of the day, would I really tell a kid, basically, it's like, yeah, no, you like Ghost, so you have shit taste. Here's all the reasons why Ghost sucks. And here's why you suck, you know?
I know that feeling all too well. I had a similar situation. I think I've told it before as well. I was going to see 1916 with my friend, 1917 with my best friend, and there was a kid. He had a Poe Dameron helmet, and I said, nice helmet, kid. And he's like, thanks. My dad's taking me to see Star Wars. Now I had seen Episode 9 a few weeks prior, and I hated it, but I didn't have the heart in me to tell this kid, yeah, it's not that good, because you know what? Maybe he saw something in it that I didn't see. So I said, may the force be with you, kid. And that was it. That was it.
Cute.
I don't have it in me to tell somebody, oh, their opinion sucks because I disagree with it. I just don't have it in me to tell them that.
That kind of reminds me of my dad, who's a big Star Wars fan, was sat down to watch Episode 9, and I was just like, I didn't have the heart to like say anything more than like, why? And his response was, and I quote, "At this point, I have to see it through to the end."
Did he pull a Homelander and just sit there?
I don't know. I sat there and watched for like maybe 5 minutes with him. I'm like, I can't stand this. I gotta go.
See, but I think the main crux and the thing you should be taking away from this overall is that yes, there is something fucking wrong with this fan base to a point where we can't even have standards for even the worst of shows. We're not allowed to say what we want lest we be tossed out into the fucking fires. Like, there's only been one time where I fully, truly, legitimately felt comfortable telling my own opinions on, like, Tokusatsu. Besides here, obviously. Like, in public. And that was at Japan World Heroes. Because who the fuck is going to swing at somebody in a fucking convention, right? Well, I shouldn't say that. This was an anime expo. This is not. There was no excuse here.
Who's going to start a physical altercation at a convention of maybe 200 people?
Exactly.
And besides that, would we really want to embarrass ourselves in front of Japanese people? The guests specifically.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I felt comfortable talking about my own thoughts and opinions there because it felt like a legitimate exchange of ideas. And I know that's a big concept for some people. It's a legitimate exchange of ideas in real life without the keyboard, without the bravery that the fucking router in your room can give. Like, it's legitimate sit-down talk. And it was great because it legitimately felt like I was talking to fucking adults, which is the most ironic thing in the fucking world when you see what we're fucking talking about. To go back to what Chad said, at the end of the day, this is a kid's show. And people are taking it like I'm punching their dog. Like, get over yourselves. But I think we've pretty much said all of it that we need to say. I think... yes?
No, I was gonna say I just feel like there's a lot of. This goes for any fandom. I feel like there's just too much like over emotional moments when it comes to the fandoms, like thinking that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like I followed this person on Insta, and she just kept going off every time about how great Ahsoka was, and I'm just like, relax, it's a fucking show. But also, I've seen some of it. It's not that good. I mean, it's okay, but it's not that good.
I will agree. That asshole Toku photo business to calm his ass down on Instagram.
He really does. What the fuck is his problem?
I know.
He
What
likes
a
Ahsoka
racist.
way too much.
What a racist. I heard he really likes...
Remember that? I can't remember that. I can't believe Toku Photobiz got away with that time that he said the Turkish need to be exterminated. I mean, look, I agree with him, but the fact that he just said that in public with no hesitation was such just
in front of
shocking
Gura,
moment.
of all people.
I can't believe he
Yeah.
verbalized it. Anyways,
But-
sorry, Phil. You were saying though.
No, I was just saying, like, and if I were to say that Ahsoka wasn't that good, do you know how reamed I would get for that? I would get so reamed.
Phrasing, Phil.
Oh god. Yeah, okay, do you know how
You like getting reamed, do ya?
no, do you know what would happen
This
to me?
is-
I would get crucified. I would be crucified for that. For saying anything other than, it's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, no, because there are problems. There are a lot of problems. No show is perfect. Even Blade. I will tout that Blade is one of the best Rider series ever, but it has its faults. It has problems. Nothing is perfect.
Well, you know what Blade isn't? Shinkenger or
What?
Gaim. It's not Shinkenger, it's not Gaim.
That is certainly objectively true
That is
in the fact that
objective-
it is neither of those
And I
shows.
love it how you pick my number one favorite Sentai. You picked my favorite Sentai out of all that.
Well, no, that's because Shinkenger's also my favorite dude.
Oh!
Oh my god, twinsies.
Twins!
Wow. Look at all this bad taste here.
Okay, well, you know what? Second thought, I think I liked Go Busters better than Shinkenger, so okay.
Oh, come on,
I don't-
Chad.
dude,
We're
you know,
the
the worst-
Shinkenger brothers.
You know what the worst part about that statement is, Chad? I watched and reviewed with Jay Go Busters. I don't remember a fucking thing from that show.
Well, I mean, it has been over 10 years.
To be fair, yeah.
Like,
Wow.
I don't remember a single thing that happened in that show.
Me neither. And I
Legitimately.
didn't even review it.
I need to rewatch the Christmas special. It is. The
I
season
remember
overall.
Beat Buster J Stag Buster J Stug Buster died, and that's it. That's all I
Yeah,
got.
he still somehow comes back every year.
That's because Toei. I'm pretty sure Toei's got that guy in a fucking chastity cage or something, man. I don't know.
Well, I mean, to be honest, he's actually officially, like, Sentai's ambassador or something like that, so...
Really?
I mean, he's been there the whole fucking time. They might as well give him a job.
True.
Do you remember when they brought him back for that Mama League special, and he just looked like he hadn't fucking shaved in a month? It looked like they just fucking dragged him out of like
I
a closet.
wouldn't be surprised.
You fucking
Hey,
the impressions.
hey,
Let's
you
go.
know what? I'll just go unshaved. I'll do something different.
Maji, fuck.
Mahiro.
Maji Jiro.
Yeah.
No, that was him during the fucking Ninja special. Where he was just he was just fucking sloshed. He's like, yeah, magic, whatever. Yeah.
Like, why
Well,
the
he was-
fuck he's-
Well, he was only in it for a few seconds. I mean, for God's sakes, like it's not like Shurikenger.
Why the fuck was he in that show?
Yeah, remember?
They had to do something to make
Remember-
people think that something was happening.
No, just remember, like, the ratings for Sentai are always reviewed 2 weeks in advance. And they're always, I'm pretty sure Ninja at the time was just like, wow, it's like, it keeps on going down. How can we salvage this? Oh, let's tie it in with something else. Who do we have in the lot? We still have Maji Yellow.
I'm surprised.
Well, let's pretend. Well, let's check the bait.
Kyojuro hasn't hit that point
Let's
yet.
let him out the basement.
Oh, that's, it's next week.
What is?
Oh God, what's happening?
What?
Next
What's
week?
happening?
Have you seen the new episode preview?
No, what is it?
No.
They're bringing back Daigo's kid.
What?
Oh no!
Okay.
No!
That was like the only episode of King Oger I had seen since like episode 12. Why didn't they just fucking bring him back?
Because
Why didn't they just drag his ass?
because
to
Daigo's too popular
counter
now.
Earth?
I don't know.
Yeah, but he's not Daigo. He's fake
Oh,
Daigo.
Prince, you're talking about. I
He's-
have no fucking
wait,
idea.
wait, Jay.
Yeah, obviously they're not gonna bring fucking Daigo back as a main.
Oh, no,
So
no,
are you
no,
saying?
no, no.
So are you say? Wait,
Here's the
so
thing.
so he's fake Daigo, Figo. He's Fago.
Yes. Hootie hoo. No, wait, that's not. That's somebody else.
Hootie and the
But okay,
Blowfish.
so
Woody
basically,
and the Blowfish.
apparently, according to producers' notes, apparently this was originally supposed to tie back to Kyoryuger anyways, making this like a light sequel to Kyoryuger, apparently. That was planned from the beginning, from what I remember. But in terms of why they're bringing back Prince is beyond me. And according to the lore, apparently Uchi and Daigo are still wandering space because they can.
Yep, that's
So that
true.
leads me to think they're probably going to come back at some point soon.
Well, it's also because remember, Mini Gabatera is still on their planet now. He snuck up. he
Okay,
snuck
so
Yeah, that's
okay,
right, they
So
just
I
fucking
have
stole
so wait,
Kyoryugen.
I have a weird like question to ask. Why the fuck are you talking about King Oger?
I
Exactly.
don't.
What
Hey,
the
How
fuck
did we
is
get
this?
here?
I
If you
hate
actually
this.
watch, if you actually watch King Oger, you wouldn't think it was bad. It's
If
okay.
I actually watched King Oger, I wouldn't
I
think it
watched
was
King
bad.
Oger and I thought it was bad.
Have you watched it recently?
Other than the Kyoryuger two-parter, no, because everything I've seen of it sucks.
Okay, you know what? It's one of those shows that you can shut your
Look,
brain off.
Phil. I'm gonna cut you off. The last clip of King Oger I've seen was the Purple Ranger became a fucking idol.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm like, I don't care.
that was a good.
I'm not fucking
No,
watching.
no,
this
you know
again.
what, Jay?
That was
you know
a
what,
good
Jay?
episode.
You know what, Jay? You know what? I'm gonna watch King Oger, and if it sucks, I will personally throw a pie full of lead at Phil's face.
You are not throwing a pie full of lead at anybody's face, especially mine.
Especially because he's like, if you watch it.
No,
Like,
because
you
you're
know
just
what?
gonna hate it
Everybody's
anyway.
been saying.
You're just gonna
Yes,
hate
because
it
I will
it's
anyway.
gonna
say that-
suck. Because I know it sucks.
If you look
You know what?
past
Let me
the
just put it this
CGI,
way.
If I look,
Guys, shut up. Chad's talking.
yes, Chad.
You know what? I will qualify for the both of you guys. I will play devil's advocate for the both of you. I am one that's also continuously watching it. I will say, it is a Sentai. It is not good. It is neither good. It is neither bad. At most, this feels like Q Ranger, Ryu Soldier, like era. Can I even say that because it's kind of being unfair
Wow,
to
I
Q
hate
Major?
that.
Like, it is like Lupat, Ryu Soul, and
Oh,
Q
you're
Ranger,
not.
like
You are
era
not
Sentai.
selling me. You are not selling me on
It's
this
not
at
do-
all.
AJ,
It is
it's not Dawn Brothers.
Ryusoul.
Okay,
Oh
I
my God.
You know what? As the resident Q Ranger defender, I'm gonna say that's unfair to a degree because at least Q Ranger had like people trying and interesting ideas, and it didn't make me want to kill myself.
No,
with
Jay.
all the CG.
The Q Ranger thing I can forgive. It's the fact that he said Lupat, and I was like immediately, nah.
Oh
we're
no,
done.
yeah, I'll give him Lupat.
I'm going. I'm
Soldier,
not
and
doing
everything
this.
else.
We're not.
Yeah,
we're
but at
not-
least,
Like,
but at least
the
with
thing is,
Kira
I will say-
Major... Sorry, go on.
oh,
Chad.
go on ahead, Phil. Sorry.
No, I was
Go
gonna
on
say
ahead.
at least with Kira Major, I didn't want to. At least not Kira Major. Fuck. I mean King Oger. At least with King Oger, I don't want to rip my hair out with the way unlike Ryu Soldier that made me want to rip my hair out.
Because
It's fair.
I want to say with King Oger, like specifically, like as I've been digesting the show, it is not unbearable, but also at the same time, I feel like there are a lot of things that could definitely be done better. And I think just execution-wise, especially with the fact that Toei's freaking overusing the friggin' LED screen, because honestly, the Kyoryuger episodes, honestly, probably the best episodes mainly because it didn't have the frigging LED screens. But another point that was also interesting, because I was talking to a friend that's like a hardcore, like a Sentai enthusiast back in the old days, right? Because like dude's favorite Sentai was like what, Die Ranger and Mask Man and also Live Man.
Jesus.
Like the thing he's also said about it is just like the thing I appreciate that King Oger is doing even more nowadays is the fact that at least the main mech is an actual suit and it's not super duper CGI'd, ironically. And when he puts that into perspective, it's like, oh yeah, no, that is actually traditional Tokusatsu, which is like, you know what? I could appreciate that opinion as someone who appreciates older Sentai, who knows what he's seen, you know? So it's like, that's fair, but also at the same time, I also understand why I also haven't been enjoying this all that much. But, anyways, I don't know how we got to talking about King Oger, but that's my 2 cents, or mini review as the series has been going right now.
Well,
I think with that we should end it off.
yeah, because King Oger sucks and Phil's not going to admit it. Anyway, so yes, that was a fantastic mailbag as usual. Phil already did his outro, as I mentioned before. That's Jay.
Did my outro.
See you all in 2 weeks when we do the next mailbag, because I know we still have a bunch of fucking mail to answer.
Oh, it's either that or Godzilla -1.
It's you know what? I brought it up the other day. We should do another year-end thing. We haven't done that in like forever.
Yeah,
I haven't done it in 2 years.
Yeah, that's Chad.
That's right. Yeah, we only missed last year. Yeah.
That's Chad.
Bleh. I don't know. Things happened at Japan World Heroes. I will live on that high horse until I die. I don't know. Cool stuff.
Yes, and we'll see you for whatever the fuck we decide to do. I don't fucking know. I'm going to bed.
We'll see. We'll
I'm
figure
going
it
to
out.
bed.
We always
So-
do.
Did we ever do a con report
Me
for
too.
JWH anyways?
We were going to. We kind of did, but we were all really tired and sleepy. So we might do a full report of that because a lot of that stuff is still really fresh in my head. So I think we'll do that before the year's over.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that
Yeah.
next
Well,
time.
maybe we should do the podcast show yearly wrap up clip show.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We should do that
Yeah.
again, and we can do a con recap
Yeah.
then.
Because
All right.
that was
Oh,
the first
excuse
time we met. We all met each other in person, including Phil for once.
Less.
Yep.
Well, the first time y'all met Phil,
Okay, yeah, that's true. We did meet Phil for the first time.
It's true.
and now we also know
That's
that Phil
right.
is officially the shortest member.
He also doesn't like curry. Surprise of all surprises.
Okay. Maybe if I try different curry.
Or Denny's at 3 a.m.
Okay, well then again, Denny's is Denny's. I don't know how you
Denny's
hate
is
Denny's.
Denny's.
Exactly.
Denny's gave us all the shit.
I mean, look, we had this conversation. Nobody actually wants to go to Denny's, but you have to go to Denny's at 3 a.m. for a
Jay,
con
we
visit.
didn't
It's just
we
one of
didn't
the
want to
things
go
you
to
do.
Denny's, but it was the only thing that was open nearby.
There was still taco.
There were other things.
Well, we had our bentos as well, but Chad didn't have anything to eat.
Look, the point is, Phil, is that we'll see you all guys next
Bye
time.
bye.
Good night.
Bye.
See you.
All right. Stopping now.